Another beautiful day. Oh boy. So this has been fun, dude. Oh, that was close. It's supposed to rain the entire rest of the day. Obviously this hail was super fun. Look at all this. Once again, rigs for miles and miles. It is a weekday, so it's a little less crowded here, but yeah, I'll probably just stay here. Well, hello again. I'm just back here at this roped off spot that I camp at all the time during my work week. And I'm not gonna lie, the last week has been super horrible. It's been very rough. The weather has been just stupid, just insanely stupid. It started with just a ton of rain, and so everything flooded out. It even flooded out at the spot that I always go to here when it rains, and I got stuck at that spot for 2 days. The mud was too deep and I was stuck there too. And let me tell you what, it hailed twice this week as well, and I think that's the most exposed I've ever felt while living in a vehicle. I don't know if you'll ever know what it feels like to be truly exposed out there until you're just sitting in your truck camper in the middle of nowhere, dude, while hail is just like pouring down on your rig just everywhere. And there's nothing you can do about it. You're just sitting out there just getting hailed on all over the place. So it did clear up yesterday, like it wasn't raining, and I had plans. I had a sweet spot, dude, that I was gonna go out and try to film, and I'm still waiting on the drone. But I found a super sweet spot that I could go camp, see some awesome stuff, dude, and light a fire. But unfortunately, dude, it was way too windy, like crazy 40, 50 mile an hour winds. And I woke up to an alert from the Weather Channel app saying that high profile vehicles should stay off the road. Yeah, it was just one gut punch after another, dude, just like left and right. I pretty much spent the entire week just kind of catching up on a whole ton of sleep, and I'm not gonna lie, I caught up on a lot of sleep. I basically just crashed. And I suppose that's a good thing. I think I've mentioned in the last couple of videos how I've been pretty much going non-stop the last couple of months, and so I think that maybe the weather and my body this last week were just kind of forcing me to stop. So, but yeah, now the weather is finally cleared up. As you can see, the ground is dry finally, but it's too late. I have to work tomorrow, and it's actually really cold. The high today was like in the upper 40s, dude. So kind of like a mild winter day, which, don't get me wrong, if you've been following along with the channel for long enough, then you know that I love days like this, and I love hiking and walking in weather like this. It's my favorite. I hate the heat, so I'll take a day like this every day, the entire year round. I would love that. Obviously, you can't always get what you want, but it's just the way it goes. So that all being said, I figured I would take you guys along with me for my evening walk. I have found a couple cool spots in this area that are away from everybody. The only issue I ever run into when I roll up here is whether those spots are taken or not, because they're just single little spots and there's only one or two of them, but they are on like little cliffs. And so I figured maybe we'd hike up this mountain here behind me. We'd hike up this a little bit this way, right? That's actually the hill right there that I slid down. Yeah, dude, right there, this whole little guy is the whole hill that I like slid off of and almost slid off the cliff, like right there last week when it rained. Oh, good times. And being stuck like that, just stuck in my camper in the same spot, not even really being able to go outside and like take a walk because the mud was so deep and it was just almost impossible not to slide around and fall over. After being stuck like that for about a week, it really got me thinking about a couple things that you never really hear anybody talk about with this lifestyle. And if they do, or they're people that don't live this lifestyle and they bring it up, they usually just get it wrong or make super weird assumptions about it. And so I figured on this walk I would just talk about a couple of those things in no particular order really, but just things based off of my experience, obviously having lived this last year in a truck camper and prior years before that in a couple of vans. I guess the first one I'll bring up because I see variations of this in the comments section all the time. Everybody's always commenting about like, oh, once I get enough money for this piece of equipment, or once I get enough money for this perfect build, or I talk to a lot of other nomads, dude, that are just obsessed with getting the next thing, and they sure wish they had this or that for their build. What I'll say about that is like, the build's never gonna be perfect, dude. Never. It will never be perfect. You could have all of the money in the world, really, and do your own builds, and you'll still get out there with that build in the middle of nowhere and just find something wrong with it or something's gonna go wrong with it. Just get out there. It doesn't really matter what you're in, honestly. Obviously, I've built out 2 vans before living in this truck camper. And after my last van died, I decided to buy a truck camper because I didn't need a perfect build. I didn't care about the build at all, dude. Wow, that sunset sure is kind of glowing up my face. I didn't care about the build. I cared about getting out here. I cared about the lifestyle. Because the build isn't gonna stay new and shiny and really last that long anyway. The most perfect build that I've ever built as far as vans go was my second van. That thing looked sharp, dude. The cabinets were all like white and it looked all spacious, and the ceiling was like this just beautiful, like kind of dark walnut type of thing. And it just looked so pretty, and it functioned super well too, because again, it was my second build, but like that lasted for like maybe a month at most. I think literally on my 3rd day out, I was pouring over some coffee, and the entire jug of coffee just spilled everywhere. Started like leaking down through the floor. This was at a park in like I think Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But like, yeah, the coffee splattered all over the white painted cabinets and whatnot, and the white painted drawers. But then I got to Montana, and I mean, once the dry season hits in Montana, it's very similar to Utah as far as it's just dust everywhere, dude. And when you're out in the middle of nowhere, there's dust everywhere. On these crazy rattly roads, you're putting whatever sort of house that you choose to live in on the road. You're always putting it through just a shitload of wear and tear. And things are gonna break. You're always gonna run into a situation, probably once a day, but at least once a week, where you're going to look at some part of your build and you're going to say, oh man, I wish I had that. Or it would have been a lot quicker if I had this. Or having this would make something just a little bit more convenient for me than the situation that I'm currently in right now. But the thing is like several weeks, several months, even a couple years later from that time, you'll look back on that time, unless it's like a serious mechanical issue, you'll look back at that time and you'll kind of realize that like not having the perfect build at the time didn't really make much of a difference at all. You still had a good time. You still were able to go out in the backcountry and see beautiful things. Look at that sunset, dude. It's only going to get better for sure. The higher up here we get, you're not going to really look back at those times and just think about how the whole time you were there, you thought about how you wish your build was better. So my advice is just get the basic things that you need to survive with that build that you know is going to be all right, and then just go. And that's what I do with my truck camper. That's why I got a truck camper. I didn't focus on the build at all. I made it look kind of nice. It doesn't look nice now. It's just dusty and dirty and shitty inside all the time. I've given up on cleaning it because I don't have an hour every day to spend cleaning it. I suppose I did the last 5 days, but like usually I don't. That just seems like a waste of time. I clean it like once a week. I focused on my power needs, my heat needs, and my water needs with my build. Those were the 3 things that I cared about. And I didn't even get the best stuff, dude. For the power, I definitely did. I got the best stuff suited for a small truck camper, considering weight and stuff like that. But like for everything else, I really just kind of bought like the not so name brand stuff. Here, I'm going to show you the spot here real quick, and then we'll walk down there. But like right now we're like up above it, and it looks pretty sweet. Again, for the area, but let me show it to you here. That's basically like on a cliff right there. Look at that spot, dude. Here's the road to get here. It's just kind of all alone down there on a cliff, and it's not taken, which is surprising because the last 2 spots that I'll show you here that I've gone by to get up here have been taken, but this one's not. So let's go check it out. So the build's just never going to be perfect. With every new rig that you do live in, hopefully, I hope for you and for my sake, that you'll just kind of keep moving up in the world as far as almost perfection goes. I already have things that I want in my next truck camper. Big dreams, if you will. And I still know that it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Nothing ever is. And that's part of the fun, really. Another thing that like no one ever really talks about, I bring it up all the time, but like, dude, this lifestyle is pretty filthy. I see all those other people on Instagram and I see their inside shots, and like I can see how like they purposely don't show the floor of their van or their truck camper or whatever. But like, yeah, whenever I show like an inside cooking video, dude, I spend like 20 minutes cleaning where I know I'm going to film, because dust just gets everywhere on these roads. There's just dust everywhere. It's filthy. If you have a dog or a cat, you throw a pet into the situation and it's even more filthy. My fingernails, like, I don't even know. This never happened when I lived in a house. But like, I shower pretty much every day now since I have like a real job and like I live near a town. It's just super easy and it's actually kind of nice. But like, even then, dude, I shower and I look at my fingernails and I'm like, wow, those look so clean. 30 minutes later, they're dirty. Probably just from getting in the camper, to be honest. And I try super hard to keep my camper clean. I'm not like a crazy slob. There are several things I have just flat out given up on. But like, it's not as clean as it looks on the internet, dude. Just plan on like being okay with just being a little bit dirty. It's not a big deal. It's just dirt. You can wash it off. You can, if you want. You could spend 2 hours every single day cleaning your rig to get it as spotless as like your house probably is that lasts for like a week. But like, is it worth it? Not really. Seems like a huge waste of time to me that I could be doing other things. So I clean like once a week, maybe once a week, every week and a half, depending. And there's certain things that I do that help me keep the rig less dirty, but like it's still gonna be dirty either way. Here's the spot. The only thing I don't like about it is probably like the power lines, but like, yeah, here, we'll go right up to the cliff here. Here, that's a pretty good view. Park your rig right there and just back up to that view. Yeah, dude, that's a pretty nice spot. I've stayed there once. I usually stay at the one just a little bit further down the hill because there's less rough terrain to have to crawl down while I'm running late for work at 4 in the morning. But I suppose another thing that comes up in the comments all the time, and I get messages about from people, and a lot of times I talk to other nomads just shooting the shit, you know, passing by or at the park or whatever. And the other thing is gear. Everybody is obsessed with gear, and I don't know why, to be honest. I understand that, like, I am not like a hang glider. I'm not like a cliff jumper, dude. I'm just like, I hike for sure. I've hiked some pretty big mountains, and I camp and I cook, you know, and I'm always hiking for sure. But like, you don't need the best gear, at least for hiking. That's for sure. You do not need like the $200 or $300 jackets or like the $300 shoes. And as far as like living in a truck camper and camping and cooking and stuff like that, even the truck camper itself, really, you do not need the best of the best gear to enjoy this lifestyle at all, dude. Because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, really. And a lot of times, 4-wheel drive, 4x4 equals just 4 times more stuck somewhere. Farther out, usually. I hiked Mount St. Helens in boating shoes, dude, and jeans, and like a Kiss cutoff shirt that I bought at Walmart somewhere in Montana. And I think I had like a Walmart backpack too, which that kind of sucked because like my back was so sweaty because it didn't have any of those like breathing holes or whatever. But like, I still had a great time. That was one of the best hikes I've ever done. Definitely kicked my ass. At the time, I was definitely not in as good of shape as I am now. I suppose all I'm saying is like, wanting good gear is not a bad thing. I want good gear. I have good gear. I also have some shitty gear. The fact that you want the good gear isn't really the bad thing. It's just that like, I see so many people just become obsessed with just the gear, dude. I'll end up at a spot out in the middle of nowhere, and every once in a while, someone will just come park right next to me, even though there's a million other spots away. And so, you know, we'll shoot the breeze at sunset like this. And wow, look at that sunset, dude. Just beautiful. We're getting up there to this last spot with a cool view too. Here, I'll show you. Also just see like the tip of the La Salle's up there. And I think we can see more the further we get up this hill here. If you just have to keep spending all your money on more and more and more and more gear, dude, like, first of all, you'll be broke. And you'll be rich with good gear, and probably poor with good experiences, because a lot of people think, well, I probably can't get out there and do that unless I have this type of gear. And that's just not true. A lot of these places that I go to, you can get to in a Prius, dude. And you can cook an amazing meal over just like a little Coleman camp stove. You don't need crazy expensive gear to have a good time. You don't need crazy expensive gear to live this lifestyle at all. And if you wait until you have all the best gear to get out there and live this lifestyle out on the road, you will have wasted a lot of time, dude. At the end of a good night, when you're in a beautiful spot and you did some camping and some cooking and you're just sitting there looking at the view, you're not thinking about all the gear at all. You're not. You're enjoying where you're at in the moment. Like I said, I have some very good gear, but a lot of times that good gear still breaks out there in the middle of nowhere. I think you've seen that happen a couple of times in my videos. And you know what? It really didn't change how good of a time that I had out there. If anything, it just made it a little more eventful. Don't be too obsessed with gear. You don't need the best gear. Just get out there. You want the best experiences. Experiences over gear every time. Yeah, dude. This is starting to look pretty cool. I think I might get up here just in time. Which probably means the rest of this video is going to look horrible because it'll probably be dark on my way down, but whatever. Oh yeah, dude. There is one rig up here, but that's fine. We're going for that spot all the way over there, and there's no one up there. I would totally take it if I didn't have to work tomorrow morning, but it's looking like we might have the perfect view if I can capture it on my not so wide camera here. Look at that, dude. Beautiful spots over here, and that kind of overlooks like the area that we just walked under, and it's kind of cool. But up here, this is where the view is at, and this is a sweet spot. Even though there's power lines, even though there's a whole bunch of rigs underneath, this is still a pretty sick spot. And I'll bet it'd be even cooler in the winter, literally obviously, but like I'll bet it'd be pretty sweet because no one would probably be here in the winter, and so you probably would have the entire view without a bunch of rigs below. Here we come, dude. Look at that. Someone's already got a fire pit up here and everything. Oh yeah, dude. Look at that view. With a perfect sunset. So down there, yeah, that's where I stay. That's where all the rigs are. But like, look at everything beyond it. That's Moab over there. And I was right. You can see the LaSalle's just perfectly from here. Most of them. This is a good spot. And right back there, I know I'm going to focus it. Right back there, you can see just a little sliver of Arches National Park from here too. Yeah, beautiful sunset, beautiful spot. And I'll zoom in, but if you look close enough, right there is my little truck camper. Anyway, what a beautiful sunset, dude. So I know now that as soon as this sun goes down, the lighting in this is going to suck. Absolutely beautiful. I suppose another thing, and I know that most of you know that this is common sense, but like, even the people that say things like this, that talk about their hopes and their dreams and stuff like that when it comes to like living in a van and traveling, or an RV or a truck camper or Prius or whatever, life on the road, you know, that being a goal, that being a dream. Even the people that have those dreams, they know, but a lot of people forget this lifestyle is definitely not going to solve your problems as a person at all. If you're super miserable with who you are as a person, if you don't like things about yourself, if you've got some trauma or some old issues that you have not taken the time to sort through and do the work and heal, this isn't going to solve any of those problems. And I see it all the time. I talk to people all the time that use this lifestyle, that literally chose this lifestyle as a way to run away from those problems. And I'll tell you what, that's a good plan. Either way, I've done that. That's what I would do. If you want to run away from your problems, just jump in a vehicle and go, dude. It all sounds real good on paper. Sounds like a good movie, but like it won't. It won't get rid of any of that stuff. But what it will do, first of all, I suppose it'll create new problems for you. Problems that you've never had before. Mechanical problems, problems with your rig, if your rig is separate from your vehicle, or problems with both if it's your vehicle and your rig is the same thing. You'll run into parking problems, places to stay problems, weather problems. So you'll have a whole new set of problems on top of your old problems, which sounds wonderful, right? But no, what I will say is this lifestyle is actually very helpful with your problems if you want it to be, because you spend a lot of time alone and you have a lot more time. At least it feels that way. You'll have a lot more time to, wow, dude. I might have been wrong about that lighting, because right now the sunset's over there. So I'm walking back down and that sunset is just shining right on my face, providing the perfect lighting. Way she goes, dude. Pretty cool. This lifestyle gives you a great opportunity to sort through all of those problems that you've had in your life, because you have a lot more time alone to sort through some of those past traumas and some of those problems and some of those issues. And so if you choose to do that, then this lifestyle could be a very good solution, a good step towards the solution to a lot of your problems. But on the other hand, I know a ton of people that got in their van, Prius, truck camper, or whatever to run away from their problems. And all they do all day is sit around in those vehicles and get high and avoid all their problems. And they do nothing. And you can do that too. Whatever you want, obviously. But I suppose that's all I really have to say about that. This lifestyle won't solve all your problems, but it gives you a great opportunity to sort through them if you want to. It is a very good position to be in to do some of that inner work. So I have to look down for a second here, dude, and be kind of careful. This is like the steep part. And I know some of you will make fun of me. Some of you already do a lot of times, but I am walking this in sandals, so, and it's getting kind of dark. So I just got to be kind of careful here. Man, I'm not going to lie. I feel so much better than I have like this entire week. And just being able to like get out and like take a walk. I'm so glad it was like an uphill walk. Oh, I'm telling you, dude, like I have felt so cooped up, more cooped up than I've ever been, I think, ever in any rig that I've lived in this last week. It's just been horrible, mostly because of the mud. I tried to get out and go for a walk, and I just kept slipping around, dude. I almost fell several times, and like it was just super deep, and I gave up. What a beautiful sunset too. Like, yeah, we're back until the weather gets bad again, I suppose. So super stoked. And it's like the perfect weather. I do have my diesel heater on, so sorry about the noise in the background, but like it's that perfect weather where you can have your diesel heater on right here and then just have the door open, and it's just like nice and perfect in here. I do have plans to get back out there. I'm gonna go out to that sweet spot that I was gonna go yesterday. It's just, I really didn't want to risk my truck camper, dude, in like 40-50 mile an hour winds while also driving like 55-60 miles an hour on a highway. Like, I trust my install job on my solar panels and everything just fine. Like, I know I did a good job, but like, you know, high winds even rip off people's like shingles on their roofs on their houses, and those people probably did a good job installing that too. I never really like to take a chance with like my truck camper and the weather. I always try to play it as safe as I possibly can. Obviously, sometimes mistakes are made, but I'd say I ended this last week of truck camper life on a good note, and I'm super stoked about that. And hopefully I can get this video out by Sunday on time for you guys. If not, I suppose that's just the way she goes. It'll come out on a Monday. But like, I know a lot of you guys have said, a lot of you guys even commented in the last video that you would like to see, that you wouldn't mind seeing a video of like what I do on like the shitty days. But what I did this entire week of really bad days was not what I normally do, dude. And I think my body just crashed out. I think it was a good thing. I think the weather and my body literally were telling me at the same time that like I need to just take a break for a second. And I did. I crashed. I slept. Most of that week, I just slept a lot. I think I really needed that after going so hard. Not really sure if I feel any better or not, honestly. Feel pretty normal, but I sure feel better after that walk. So thank you for coming along with me for this truck camper walk and talk, I suppose, is what it is. I know it wasn't much of an adventure, but at least it was a beautiful sunset. And I hope you enjoyed some of the topics I went over. I suppose I will say, like, to wrap that up, like to wrap all that stuff up, life is always just going to be full of ups and downs. Like, it just is. It doesn't really matter what situation you're in, whether you live in a house, a Prius, a truck camper, a cabin in the woods. There's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be problems. I read in a book one time, it said something like life is always full of problems. It's your job just to kind of map your life around what kind of problems you would like to have, that sort of thing. I don't know, I'm probably quoting it wrong, but I suppose I brought all of those things up just because like it just seems like a lot of people are waiting, dude, to get out there. And I mean, I know that there's a wise way to wait, but there's also other reasons that people wait, and I just kind of wanted to go over those. Some of the unrealistic expectations. You're going to have problems out here. You're going to have bad days. No one's perfect. You're still going to go through the same things within yourself, the same problems that you had within yourself. You're still going to have those problems out on the road. Yeah, it'll be a change of scenery all the time, and it'll be good. You'll have more opportunities to maybe sort through those problems. And, you know, the perfect rig, I don't know. You can wait for the perfect rig, but, like, it's always an ongoing joke with me and a couple of my friends. Like, one of them, she lives in a bus, and another one of my friends, she lives in, like, a van hybrid thing. It's a high-top van, basically, converted. But, like, we always make a joke about people that we know that live in like vans or vehicles that they can't stand up in. It's not really, I mean, it's funny, but it's more of an observation really. Like people that can't stand up in their rigs are never in their rigs, dude. They're always outside. But those are the people that are always out there jumping off cliffs, climbing mountains, hiking long hikes, dude. And I mean, I know like in their downtime, they're always outside of their vehicle, like laying in a hammock or whatever. But like, you know, those people are out there doing way more than I'm doing. You know, I don't know that I want to be doing all of that. I'm not that extreme, but like, they didn't wait for the perfect rig. They just got out there, and I guarantee that their life is like way more fulfilling, dude, than like most people out there with all the stuff that they're out there doing. I don't have the perfect rig at all. Like I said, I'll be surprised if this truck camper lasts another year or two, dude. It's kind of falling apart because of all the roads and stuff I've taken it on, but like I don't regret a thing. It's not the perfect rig. I'm super happy with it because of where it takes me and the things that it allows me to experience. And so yeah, I guess I just wanted to bring a couple of those things up, just in case you've never thought of it. If you do live in a vehicle and you follow the channel, thank you. But let me know if you can relate to some of those things as well. And yeah, I suppose on that note, that about wraps this one up, guys. Way she goes, I suppose. If you made it this far in the video, then chances are you're probably into this kind of stuff. So make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And keep on living that dream. And if you haven't found that dream yet, don't stop looking for it, because you never know where it might be. You might even find that it's stuck in a horrible spot for a week because of horrible weather, right next to the highway, just trapped inside your truck camper. And still grateful that you don't live in a house somewhere out in Utah. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.